We continue our journey to recognize the tireless and selfless efforts of many inspiring individuals. This week, we bring you 3 such stories of amazing Indians who are transforming lives with their unique endeavors. An IIT Kanpur alumnus who is also a toy maker of a very different kind. Arvind Gupta designs scientific toys out of trash and makes learning fun. Get into the world of science with our incredible innovator. From a nondescript village in Maharashtra, we bring you the story of our gritty Stree Shakti Babai Sathe, who overcame innumerable odds to become the Sarpanch of her village and is now solving the primary healthcare needs of her marginalized community. She lost her family in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, but the devastating tragedy did not make her lose hope in humanity. Meet our Indian at heart, Kia Sher, who turned her life around by spreading the message of peace and harmony.
This is the simplest motor on earth. And this is the old bicycle tube. This is the film can.
An innovator who is busy changing the way science is perceived. A scientist and a masterful toy maker who creates toys from trash.
There is a very old story from the life of the Buddha, and which is actually, it has so many lessons for modern day environmentalists. And this is 5,000 years back. And the story says that the Buddha was once going for his rounds. He went to one of the viharas, one of the monasteries, and one of the bhikshus said, "Sir, I want a new angarkha." Angarkha is a woolen shawl. And the Buddha said, "What happened to your old shawl?" "Master, I had worn it for so many years, it's got torn, so I'm using it like a bed sheet." Not to be satisfied, the Buddha asked, "What happened to your old bed sheet?" "Sir, I'd been using it for so many years, it had got torn, so I cut it up and I sewed it and made a pillow cover on it." So Buddha was not satisfied with that. "But prior to this, you must have had a old pillow cover. What happened to this?" "Sir, I had rubbed my head on the pillow cover so many times that there was a hole in the pillow cover. So now I use it like a foot mat." So this symbolizes that things were used and reused. So recycling, reuse is not a new concept for us. We don't need to learn it from the West.
So materials of everyday use become magical tools in the hands of this incredible innovator.
You can just see. Now this is it's a kind of 1 liter fruit juice packet. And what we've done is just doubled it up. And you can put some little money inside this. Put a bit of money inside this, and we put some Velcro, and this makes for an extremely nice waterproof purse. Don't use Tetra Paks, but pick up old Tetra Paks, and I'll show you how to make 30 toys out of it. And many of them with very deep insights into science.
Working with toys and tools has been Arvind's childhood love.
Most wonderful part of my childhood was my mother. And she never bothered me with homework, or you must get good grades, or you must top in the class. As a child, I was a tinkerer. I loved making things with my own hands. I had a small little box with tools, and I would be tinkering all the time. And she always encouraged that, never bothered about grades. The nicest thing of my mother was that she had never been to school. She never went to school. So she had no benchmarks. So she said, if the child is enjoying, let him be. And I think that was the best part of my life.
His aptitude and genius resulted in him joining the prestigious IIT Kanpur. But the engineering student found his true calling in teaching those who could not afford a formal education.
Defining slogan of the 70s was go to the people. Love them, live with them, start from what they know, build on what they have. This was the defining. So one is shaped by the influences, political streams of one times. And so very first in IIT Kanpur, some of the students gang together and we started a small school for the children of the mess servants called as the Opportunity School. And 6 of us used to bunk one day and teach the children of the mess servants, 40, 50 children.
After graduation, he went on to work at Telco, but soon realized this wasn't the career for him.
So I took a year off from Telco and went to this village science program, which was started by Dr. Anil Sadgopal. He did a PhD from Caltech, was in the TIFR. And one of the quintessential products of his times, at the age of 30, he gave up his job to start this small NGO called as Kishore Bharti in Madhya Pradesh. And the idea was that how do you make science fun for village children, make it meaningful? Professor Yashpal, one of our RINASA scientists, did a PhD from the MIT, came as a first teacher trainer, spent 15 days with 40 village teachers. So I went and spent a year in Kishore Bharti, and which was a turning point in my life. No glue, no scissors, making this bird.
Thus started his tryst with education, which has lasted more than 30 years. He has so far designed around 650 teaching aids and toys out of waste.
Now this is the matchbox. It's a matchbox train. All you just need a matchbox and a bit of thread. This is all you require for this. And if I just hold it like this, you can see these two parallel threads. They look like the railway track, and this is the engine. And if I move my right hand, it just moves. It beautifully illustrates the principle of friction, and children can also enjoy this. So trying to use old cycle tubes, matchboxes, matchsticks. What does this look like to you?
His objective was simple: popularize science by making it fun for children.
To be able to understand science better, children need to make things, do things, make actual models, relate theory to actual practice. And this is how you concretize your learning. Otherwise, they are compartmentalized. There are people who just work with their heads with no theoretical understanding, and they're only theoreticians. We need to bridge this chasm. Angles are 90 degrees.
Solving the mysterious laws of motion or cracking the principles of geometry, Arvind Gupta has an answer to all, the hallmark of an amazing innovator. Tucked in the interiors of Maharashtra is a tiny village, Jawalka. This is home to a gritty woman who has faced and overcome destitution and discrimination.
आम्ही 7 बहिणी आणि 3 भाऊ होतो आणि माझं लग्न मग शाळा तर नाहीच घातलं मला नावच नाही टाकलं आई वडिलांनी कारण का मी 3ऱ्या नंबरची असल्यामुळं मला थोडी 9 वर्षाची झाले की माझं लग्न करून दिलं मग लग्न करून दिल्यावर माझ्या नवऱ्याचं वय होतं 22 आणि माझं होतं 9 आणि मग ती मी लहान असल्यामुळं आणि मग आमच्या सासूने रामेश्वरच्या दर्यात जाऊन हरतूर करून दुसरी माझी बायको घरात आणली नवऱ्याने आमच्या.
Babai Sathe was forced to marry when she was just 9 years old and was soon deserted by her much older husband. The adverse circumstances forced her into a harsh life of working as a laborer.
तर म्हणलं इकडं बी आई बापा येऊ देतात का नाही घरी तिकडं बी आता तसं असं वाटायचं मधीच आत्महत्या करावा आणि मग त्यावेळेस आयुष्य काय होतं कपडा नसलं याला भाकर खाय नसं साबण सोडा भेटत नसं एका साडीच्यावर दुसरी साडी नसं नेसायला.
While Babai was struggling to make ends meet, she found a new direction in her life after coming under the wing of the Comprehensive Health Project in Jamkhed, where she learned how to provide primary healthcare services.
She was able to help more than 12 people affected with TB and more than 15 people who were affected with leprosy. Work to reduce maternal mortality in her village, conducting deliveries, providing health awareness, giving antenatal care in the pregnancy period. After pregnancy, she also delivered postnatal care services to the community. Up to now, she has conducted 200 deliveries, and that makes a big difference.
So this woman, who never got a chance to go to school, went on to become a village health worker, going door to door to provide medical assistance.
काही मी नॉर्मल घरी केल्या आणि काही नॉर्मल दवाखान्यात केल्या. मग अशा मिळून माझ्या 207 झाल्या.
डिलिव्हरीच्या टायमाला दवाखान्यात नाही न्यावं लागलं. बोरीला घरीच मोकळी केल्या पोरी माझ्या.
Babai utilized her training to the fullest by spreading health awareness among other women of her village.
शिक्षणामुळेच आम्हाला धाडस आलं, कारण हिथं शिक्षण जे आहे की तुम्ही असं दम देऊन शिक्षण नाही, मायानी, प्रेमानी आणि देवाणघेवाण आमचं पण ऐकून घेतात आणि त्यांचं पण शिकवतात. त्याच्यामुळे आम्ही शिकलो. 100% फायदा झाला आमच्या गावाला, प्रत्येकाच्या गावाला, माझ्याच नाही, की गावातलं आरोग्य गावात आणि आपलं आरोग्य आपल्या हातात.
Gaining immense popularity as a village health worker, Babai was soon elected as the Sarpanch of Jawalka in 2005. And she has been carrying on her crusade since then.
मग मी गावासाठी सरपंच म्हणून पहिली पाण्याची सोय केली. पाण्याची सोय केली, लाईटची सोय केली आणि दलित वस्तीवर रस्ता दुरुस्त केलं, गरिबासाठी घरकुलं दिली. 30 लोकांना वयोवृद्ध झालेल्या लोकांना त्यांना राजीव गांधी निराधार, संजय गांधी निराधार ते पण त्यांना पगारी चालू आहेत. अजून गावासाठी असं करावं वाटतं की मुलीसाठी शाळा 10वी पर्यंत निदान हायस्कूल.
The village now boasts of better roads, improved health conditions and steady electricity supply.
सरपंचाच्या कार्यकर्ते त्यांनी गावात दारूबंदी केली, पत्त्या वगैरे सगळ्याची काय व्यसनी आहे ती व्यसनं सगळी बंद केली. त्यांनी गावात पाण्याची योजना केली, घरकुलांची योजना केली, रस्ते केले आणि 5 वर्षात त्यांनी कार्य चांगलं केले.
20 वर्षापासून अंधारात होती. ते पहिला प्रश्न दलित वस्तीचा त्यांनी सोडवला. त्यात आमचे बी काय आहेत.
एखादं पेशंट असलं तिथं पैसे थोडेफार कमी पडले त्याच्यात भागवून घेतात. गावात हे लहान मुलांना खाऊ पिऊ व्यवस्थित, त्यांचं वजन घेणं.
This 55-year-old overcame all her struggles and dedicated her life to the village of Jawalka, ensuring that wealth lies in the health of its people. Love, compassion and forgiveness can overcome terror and hatred. Watch our Indian at heart who stunned the world by choosing to forgive those who killed her family in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. On the fateful day of 26/11, thousands saw the face of terror. Many were left to survive with the deafening silence in their lives. The attacks tore apart countless families. Kia Sher too lost her loved ones.
My daughter was here as an educational experience. She'd been begging for piercings of any kind. Nose, she already had many ear piercings, but she was wanting lots and lots of, teenagers love piercings and tattoos. So that was an ongoing conversation we were having. So finally we said, well, when you're in India, you can get a nose piercing. So she had just gotten her nose piercing. So she was sharing with me the news of her nose piercing and sending the photos. It was very beautiful. Alan was great. Alan was known for his sense of humor. He had a very wry sense of humor. He was a great writer and a speaker, and he loved India. The last conversation I had with him, he said, I love India so much, I wish I could die in India. I know. Who knew? So, unfortunately, he got his wish sooner than later.
Though in pain, Kia found a new way to engage with the world. Right here in India, a place where her heart lies.
My family died here. My heart was left here. My heart is here in India. Their hearts were certainly here in India. I feel closer to them here when I'm here. I wasn't here during the last 2 weeks of their lives. So although it's painful to have it right in my face, at the same time, it's very comforting to me to start here. And I find the response in India is the greatest, the response in Mumbai, because all of Mumbai went through this experience. It cut deep into the heart of Mumbai. So we all had our hearts broken by this experience. There were many losses all over the city. So we share that experience so that people here are much more motivated to take a stand with me. And that is very strengthening, and that's been my healing, that's been my survival.
Along with other 2611 survivors, Kia Share started a self-help and support group, One Life Alliance.
Choose love, compassion, and then peace.
The group was her way of engaging with the world in a new way after her loss. Kia Share is now spreading the message of peace, compassion, and forgiveness.
Forgiveness is what allows me to move forward and open to a greater vision that would create a positive outcome. Without forgiveness, think of it as a bridge leading back to balance and wholeness. Otherwise, the unforgiven is contracted. It's like a hard knot of hatred, anger, and revenge. The objective overall is to counterbalance terrorism with the opposite of terrorism, which would be love and compassion. And that would result in peace. That means lives are saved. That means fewer acts of terrorism in the future. But we have to get to the very heart of the matter. So we have to go to our young children, especially children at risk, especially in countries that are more at risk. But global peace begins here. So we must start with ourselves first and foremost, and then share with our communities, and then reach out to the rest of the world.
The One Life Alliance works with schools in Mumbai to develop a curriculum for peace where students take the pledge to honor the sacredness of life through a 30-day One Life Alliance pledge.
So each day they had a very specific focus. Slow down. All day they had to remind each other to slow down. Smile. So that was the whole day. Smile. Breathe deeply. For acceptance, listening, forgiveness, sharing, kindness, patience. Those kinds of things lead you to peace, compassion, and love. And we're only providing the platform to bring forth your leadership. You are the ones. You are the ones, really.
While students from St. Andrews College have taken up the pledge, students from Wellinger Institute of Management Development and Research have so far helped Kia Share in arranging peace walks and organizing peace rallies at the Gateway of India.
We had 3 main events, and from the peace rally, in which we brought together the entire Bombay, from schools to bureaucrats to diplomats, bringing together the entire society of Bombay and helping them join in the initiative. And then we had a panel discussion where again we brought about people from various aspects of life who came there and who also discussed on peace.
She has been such an inspiration to everyone. I mean, after losing her husband and her daughter, it's like, you know, to take up something like this and to forgive people, to follow peace is like incredible.
Making India her second home, the US national Kia Share now wants to do something for street kids in India whom she considers to be the new peace agents for the tragedy-stricken Mumbai.
We're all united in love. So let's create a project, Street Kids United. There's already a lot of NGOs, so let's work with those NGOs that work with the street kids to bring in another program into that, to bring a training program to teach them skills for that, and they can become special agents of peace, and they can form a peace squad. They're the eyes and ears of Mumbai. Let's empower them with that and give them that role.
If forgiveness is a choice, Kia Sher has made that choice. And she wants others to take the same step, the step towards healing and the possibility of creating a better world. The journey of amazing Indians continues next week. Meet our global Indian Ashmit Kapoor and find out about his initiative I Say Organic that helps improve livelihood opportunities for farmers and ensures a healthier lifestyle for the city dwellers. He has spent 32 years of his life encouraging reading habits among children in the hills of Arunachal Pradesh. Get inspired by the story of our educator, Uncle Musa. If you think 1 rupee is not worth much, then watch the extraordinary story of V. Venkatraman, who has been serving lunch to underprivileged people for the token amount in Chennai.